Welcome in, Big Blue Nation, to another episode of the Cats Talk podcast. I'm your host, Cameron Johnston, joined by my co-host, Jacob Boyers. Jacob, give it to me. Go ahead. Honk the
Honk,
nose.
honk, honk, honk.
Absolute clown takeover here. I didn't think the Cats had a chance to win this game down in Fayetteville, and boy, did they
I
prove
think
me
you
wrong.
picked, what, 30 points? 30?
I picked a
30?
25-point loss. That was what I predicted. And I am here to say, as Kentucky won 85-77, Jake, there was nobody who put myself out in a clown costume before I did. I owned it. The hand was up. It was high. And to be there in person to witness this, man, wow. Really all I can say. This team played great on all cylinders throughout the entire game, and minus a minute and a half span where they got 3 technical fouls and 2 of them were probably just complete and utter BS.
Yep.
This game was awesome. Shout out to the Arkansas fans, actually. Bud Walton Arena. First off, they call it like the Palace of Mid-America Basketball, which is probably the dumbest name I think I've ever seen. They probably could have just the Palace of Mid. They could have just left it there, and that probably would have been okay. But the fans were crazy, and it got loud. And Jake, I'll tell you one thing. When Billy Richmond cocked back and hit that left-handed throwdown, and they went up by 1, I got nervous because that place got loud, and boy, did it feel like everything was going against us. But the Cats find a way to pull it out. And Jake, life is good, baby. Cal, we finally gave him his first loss. Seeing Brad Calipari over there in his clown fit. Life is good, man. I'm running on E. I had a 10-hour drive there and a 10-hour drive back right after. Cats are 2-0 in Fayetteville this weekend. The women's team even got a win on the weekend.
Yeah, I told you, Cam. I mean, if everybody would just listen to Unified Ball Nowhere,
I will say, but before you go around tooting your own horn, I think you were 0 for your last 4.
No,
before this
Vandy
Vanderbilt
to beat
game.
us, and
I said before the Vanderbilt game.
Yeah, but some of those were just
you were 0 for 4.
I was keeping the jinx going, right? I couldn't.
Oh, yeah.
I was doing it for the team.
Well, thank you for your service, sir.
You're welcome. No, I mean, you hit it, man. Just excellent game, I think, really from everybody. I mean, this is going to go down as, I think, when you talk about the great Otega Oweh games at Kentucky, this one's right there with it. Everything we were complaining about from last Tuesday in Nashville of he's lost his finishing ability and all this. He was getting to the rim when he wanted, finishing through contact. Missed some free throws, but I'm not gonna complain too much. Grabbed 8 boards. This was through and through the kind of game you draw up for Otega. And you had a lot of other guys play really well. I thought, especially in the second half, Malachi was terrific. I thought Trent Noah. Cam, is there a team in the SEC, maybe outside of Alabama, that you would not want Trent Noah to play more than Arkansas? And he goes out there. I thought it was
this one or Florida, and man, did he prove me wrong. So
and he goes out there and he's grabbing rebounds, knocking down shots. The confidence. That 3 he hit, he was catching, ready to shoot for 4 seconds before that ball hit his hands, and then instantly just giving the little shush. I mean,
that was awesome.
They needed it. We've talked about it. I joked about it you keep calling this the roller coaster of a season, and I told you
again,
it only makes sense for us to be back on the up. We'll see what happens tomorrow night. I'm not just every game. I think you just kind of throw your hands up, but yeah, man, it was one of those fun special nights, and I think you mentioned the Billy Richmond dunk after those 3 technicals. I'm gonna vent slightly about the technicals.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Okay. I'll come back, but I'll say these guys, man, to respond in that way, because I'm with you. I was thinking that's it. This game is just turned. You pretty much handed them 4 points plus the ball back, and for them to answer, and Colin Chandler hit that big 3 to get it back to 1, and Colin's another one, man. I think are we going to start having conversations about him being the most clutch player on the floor? Because it feels like every one of these tight games he hits a big shot or makes a full court pass and does something to help you win.
Yeah, and I like what you just said at the end there, and I think that's what you can say for this entire team in this game specifically. everybody made winning plays in this game. Like, I don't think there's a single guy you can point to on this roster and say, they didn't really help us win. If you're being like nitpicky, maybe Jasper. Jasper might be like the one person you could pick out and say, he didn't really help us win this game. But every single person stepped up in spots and allowed you to build out an early lead. Start off, they were 14-5, and Jake, I'm sitting there, I'm looking over at everybody in the media row, and I'm like, are we getting a hot start? Like, what is this? Like, we were 10 of our first 11. I think we scored on our first 12 possessions, and I'm sitting there like I'm waiting for somebody to pinch me. I'm like, this isn't real. There's no way. Like, everybody's hitting. Otega's finishing around the rim. And Jake, the reason you and I are always so like, it's me especially, I think you might give him a little bit more grace than I do. The reason I'm like so on Otega about just like everything, like all the small aspects of the game, getting rebounds, defending a guy like Darius Acuff, is because the ability is there. And you see that when he has this ability to take over a game, like look at what that just helped us do. We just beat a top 15 team on the road, handed them their first loss of the season at Arkansas. And why was that? It's because you have a guy who shoots 75% from the field, grabs you 8 rebounds, has a pick 6 in there, plays great defense on Darius. And he's a giant reason why you win this game. When you have a guy, we kind of debated all offseason and during the season, like, can Otega be the best player on a good team? When your best player's locking down their best player, scoring 24 points, shooting 75% from the field, and grabbing 8 rebounds as a 2-guard, yeah, you can win a lot of games with that being your best player. And I think that's why I've always been so hard on Otega. And granted, 6 of 11 from the free throw line. The part that I got the most issue with that, Jake, is we had the ball in his hands for him to take those free throws at the end of the game. I'm sitting there like I'm in media row trying not to scream. I'm like, hey, guys, we got Trent on the floor. We got Colin on the floor. These guys are hitting free throws at a high level. Denzel's been hitting free throws at a high level. Like, outside of Malachi, Otega was the last guy I wanted out there shooting those free throws. But, I mean, to his credit, obviously, we don't come anywhere near close to winning this game without him. He truly impacted this game on both ends of the floor. And I don't know if it's too much to say, like, this is what I expect from Otega. Maybe the 75% shooting is. But these are the kind of stat lines that I look at, and I'm like, all right, yeah, if this is the guy we're getting for us this season, I think the season's back on.
Yeah, and it's in there, right? And I think that's the big thing. But, I mean, it was just – we talked about how all year and even last year, like, his defense can get him going. And, in the non-conference, we weren't really seeing it. And you were alluding to him kind of falling back to what we saw in the non-conference over the last few. And I think just to have him play that kind of intensity, and you mentioned it, I mean, Acuff's so good. He's going to get his against just about anybody, right? Like, they're going to find ways. Also, there were times Otega guarded him really well, and he still got to the rim. I think that he's just that kind of player. You're not going to completely take him out of a game. So I thought everything Otega did for you was special, and I think this game's up there with the 2 Oklahoma performances from a year ago as, probably one of his top 3 games in his UK career.
Yeah, and Jake, talk about just rolling it into the Oklahoma game.
Yeah, let's go.
I'm ready. We obviously seen what Otega can do against Oklahoma, and seeing them on the schedule after the I'm going to say this was the best game of his career. I'm going to say that. I know those Oklahoma games, like, obviously down the stretch he was
Arkansas's a better team. This Arkansas team's better than Oklahoma team.
Yeah, I would say those Oklahoma teams were not good. I mean, they barely made the NCAA tournament. They had a good, Fears was obviously a lottery pick. Outside of that, they didn't have too much. When you're going up against guys like Darius Acuff, Malik Thomas, I'm about to say Carter Knox. Remember, Jake, how I called him a clown? How about 16 minutes? No stats.
Yeah, well, Billy Richmond you called a clown too, and he.
Yeah, well, I called him a clown just because of what he says. I will say something before we get too far off the Billy Richmond train. If he hit the portal, Jake, I'm all in. The athleticism and the side-to-side movement, and just the athleticism and the way he attacks the glass. If he hits the portal, man, I feel like that's a rich man's Muhammad Diabate with athleticism.
I was going to say.
I'm all in for.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't really talk about it too much because we were so depressed from the Vanderbilt game. But
I still am a little bit. Still am a little bit.
The biggest clown on Arkansas is Brazil. I mean, we obviously saw what he did at the end of this game, but I mean, he's got a habit of doing that. He's the biggest baby out there. So
yeah,
got to throw that one in.
I mean, a lot of these guys on Arkansas really are. That's the problem. And Jake.
And then you look over and you see Chen Coleman and Brad
Calipari and Kenny's still sitting there. Bad thing is, I love KP. I actually do. He went over there. He sabotaged Louisville for us.
Yeah,
he did that. Obviously, went to Arkansas. And now he's just chilling. And what about Tyler Ulis wearing a blue suit? I mean, that's kind of awesome. I don't know if that's on purpose, but he did it last year too.
We gotta get Tyler away from Cal, man. I want to fully embrace him back, and it's hard.
It's very hard
seeing him sitting there next to Brad every game. And
dude, he's got to. I'm just gonna say, as somebody who only spent maybe 36 hours in Fayetteville, it was 32 too many, and I couldn't have gotten out of that city fast enough, Jake. I had 3 hours of downtime before the game. And, I'm like, all right, I'm going to go walk around the campus, see what there is to do. That took me about 15 minutes to get around the campus walking. And once that was done, I was like, all right, let's go see what this town has to offer.
Nothing.
Dude, it was so bad. I can't imagine. We got the dogs chiming in. I can't imagine. Like, I know this is going to sound like just ex-girlfriend type things, what it's going to sound like. I can't imagine like how depressed he is down there. Like the only thing you see is like I walk over there and it's like the John Tyson Poultry Center of Science. And I'm like, John Tyson doesn't care about the science of this chicken that he's putting in there. We all know this. He's just throwing them in some Tyson chicken bags and making some money off of it. That's all he cares about. We know he doesn't care about the center of excellence. But man, to Cal's, like, to his defense, I mean, he was gracious in the loss that he had after. It was so fun to beat him. I'm not gonna lie. I'm still so happy. Like, I'm still smiling ear to ear. And I've heard like Arkansas fans say, "Oh, this was their Super Bowl." What? You guys made a whole event out of this. You guys gave out towels for the entire thing.
T-shirt,
you guys were. Yeah, it wasn't a T-shirt. I've seen that miss. It was they were just giving out those white towels, and then they had everybody do the white out. But the students were lined up hours before this game.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they went all out for this game. They wanted this one. I'm not gonna say they wanted it more than we did because we needed it more, but I think they wanted it more.
Yeah, that's a ridiculous notion to call it somebody's Super Bowl from. I mean, we have won 8 national championships. I think we understand what it's like to play in a big one. But
and they've not sold out like, what is it, 2 or 3 top 25 games at home, and this place was packed to the gills in this one.
But last year they had Cal like begging people to come to their games. Like,
he still was. He had
remember he was like tweeting out, and he's like, if you have tickets and you're not going to use them, please let us know. We'll give them away. We need to pack the house. Yada yada yada. Like, it was pretty fun, and part of the reason I picked them and was feeling so confident is just because I couldn't imagine a world where we were 0-2 to John Calipari. It could not exist. Pope needed it, and to Pope's credit, I think a lot of times this year we've been fairly critical of him and talked about how he's been outcoached. This was one, he made the right adjustments at the right times. I thought, the decision to really feature Malachi more in the second half, Cal did what Cal does, and Pope was able to execute.
Yeah, it felt so good watching somebody else shoot like long contested twos and missing free throws from the free throw line to lose a game. It felt so good to be on the other side of that. Now, granted, I will say we were also missing those free throws, but at least we weren't taking the long contested twos. Otega did shoot one, Jake, and I thought I was going to throw up. He took like a step back contested 2 on the line. And granted, again,
had a pass.
I know. Yeah, he had a pass, but I almost threw up in the media room when I saw it. I was like, oh, my God, please, no, Otega, don't start doing this now. Because at that point, he had been playing incredible and obviously continued. Jake, season back on. Is that what this is?
I don't know, man. I mean, I mean, like, would you be shocked if we come out and lose tomorrow night against Oklahoma? I mean, it'd
With
be a
how
pretty
bad
bad
Oklahoma
loss,
is, yes, I would say I would be surprised.
but
But
like, yeah, and then Tennessee Saturday. I mean, yeah, I think this is just going to be all year. I really do. Like, this is a team that can probably beat anybody outside of a handful of teams in the country, but we can also lay clunkers in Nashville and Missouri at home. I mean, Missouri's not very good, and that one's going to come back to really bite us. But I want to believe. I want to say season's back on, and this team's going to make a run. I think the inspiring thing of this was you see a recipe where this team can be successful, and it was for an entire game. Like, even the big Tennessee win, you still played. You looked atrocious for 20 minutes of that game and couldn't score. Like, there was no field goal droughts in this one. You found ways to move the ball. I talked about Trent Noah catching the ball ready to shoot, Colin as well. Like, I thought they did a really good job. A couple of those Otega takes were, either BG or Malachi getting the ball kind of high key and hitting them on a, good cut. Like, those kind of things, I think you saw an offensive game plan for whatever reason that was so much better than what we've kind of seen to this point.
yeah, and a lot of it was the finishing ability of everyone. Like Denzel had a couple contested shots that he made down low. Mohamed Diabate, same thing. I mean, Malachi missed some bunnies, but a lot of that was just everyone was finally finishing around the rim. Like, I think Otega missed a bunny at some point, but for the most part, like, guys were finishing through contact. Mo had a good amount as well. And like, I'm just looking through the entire list of guys, and I can tell you what they brought to make this, what definitely wasn't an easy win, but what they contributed to make this, a good win for this team. Like, Denzel obviously was a big part of that hot start, hit a nice three that really kind of catapulted us, had 3 assists. Look at Yelovich. I mean, Yelovich, Jake, 13 minutes. Like, what do we got to do to get the guy on the floor? I'm not sure. But in this one, you know what? We beat top 15.
This one, it kind of makes sense. Like, Mo was playing well.
Mo was playing well, but hey, 7 points in 13 minutes on 3 of 4 shooting and knocking down a 3 ball. I'm just saying there's going to be times where this guy needs to be on the floor more. I'm not saying this was the game, but there are going to be times. Jake, every single player helped this team win this game. Like, the first thing that I saw, and I'll be honest, the hands up, both of them, sky high, they're up there. When I saw Trent Noah checking in that early in the game, I almost headed to the car. I was furious. I saw it happening. I saw him go to the scores table, and I'm like, this is not the game for Trent. Like, like you mentioned, this is, when you just think about it, this is not the game for him to come in. And to his credit, man, he had 3 rebounds in the first, I think, minute he was on the floor. He made such a difference in the small aspects of the game. The fact that Trent Noah finishes with 7 rebounds in a game, all on the defensive side of the ball, is crazy work. It really is. And it was a huge part of why we won this game. And we can talk about this with every single player on this team. We're going to, because we need to relish in this win like we should.
Yeah. And again, with Trent, it just shows how hard he played and how well he played, because we talked about it. He's by far probably the least athletic guy on the floor for that entire game.
Well, Brad was on the floor. He was just on the,
his feet were touching.
But, I don't know if they weren't touching, actually. He might have been dangling him up above the chair.
Oh, man. But, yeah, I think, again, I was so impressed with Trent, just because, again, on paper, this is 100% a game that you would not expect him to be playable. And not only was he playable, he was one of your best 5 for really the majority of the whole game.
He was. And, we're talking about guys that have just continued to step up. Colin Chandler didn't play too much in this game, got in foul trouble early. You mentioned, I mean, how clutch is this guy? Like, you fall down 4, he hits a tremendous 3. You got a 6-point lead, shot clock's going down, turn around in their eye to give you an 8-point lead. It seems like whenever there's a big play to be made, somewhere Colin Chandler has his fingers on the pulse. Obviously, the Malachi pass to win that game, that big steal against Tennessee. It's, when we're looking at these games, Colin's a big part of this. And man,
3 against Ole Miss. You're
That's
up.
You're talking about what 4 of our last 5 wins that we've had, and Colin Chandler has made a key crucial play that has gotten us one of those wins.
He got punched in the face by DJ Wagner and still made
that
it.
was
That was absurd.
all right, Jake. Let's talk about officiating, because let's get into it. I made you wait until 20 minutes into it. I was trying to cool your flame down. I didn't want you to be scrapping Doug Schow's out there. It should have happened probably. Let's get after it now. I will start with this: the Brandon Garrison technical. I could not see from my vantage. I could not see from my vantage point. From my vantage point, I couldn't see, and they would not replay it for the life of me. So I don't know what happened there. Still really haven't even seen a replay of what it was, but I've heard most people say that it was deserved. Jake, your take on that one?
Yeah, I'll say that one was deserved. I'll say the one on Otega in the first half was deserved, but I thought that probably should have been a double. Like, they were both going after each other. They were both jawing. But yeah, the BG one, he pretty much stands right over Acuff, and then Acuff gets up and he goes back into his face. So like that one, that's the BG experience, right? Like that's gonna happen. The next two are the Mo Diabate one. Like, I know everybody said it. I've heard.
I'm ready. Give me riled. Give me riled.
I've heard national media talk about it. Rob Doster was big on it. That was quite possibly the worst call I've ever seen in college basketball. Like,
which one do you think was worse? And I'm gonna give you 2. No, wait.
Oh, you're gonna talk about the hook and hold that was called a foul on Otega.
That was called on Otega. Which one are we going with? Because right now, I'm looking at them, and I can't think of 2 worse calls that have been made, and they've been made in the last 3 games.
I would still think this technical, because at least the foul with Ole Miss, there was contact. Guys were flailing. Maybe you didn't see who actually bumped it. I mean, not defending it. It was a horrific call. But for Diabate to get a block and look at the camera, and then the camera has a clear angle of what he's yelling. He doesn't even cuss, and you tee him up. That was Doug Schow's wanting to have his moment, and I don't know what came over him right there. But that was probably the worst call I've ever seen. And then to tee Pope up, there's such a double standard with certain coaches in college basketball. We watch Izzo berate referees for 40 straight minutes. And
it's almost, the more you do it, the more of a leash you get.
Yeah, and one, Denzel got fouled before he got the ball across half court. And 2, I think he still crossed half court with 21 seconds on the shot clock.
He was over. I was watching. He was over.
And then you mess that call up. That's the thing that kills me in college basketball. You don't see this in the NBA. Refs mess calls up, and then it's natural for someone to react. And they always tee them up in college. You don't see that in the pros.
Right.
I mean,
always double down on their mistake.
Schow's walk towards Pope, right? You're asking for it. You're putting yourself in that situation, and then you get to be the guy. Pope can't do anything back. Pope can't throw a red card up.
Jake, who was the ref that walked Pope down last year? That wasn't Schow's, was it?
I don't think so, because we haven't had a Schow's moment in a couple, I don't think. But I do remember that.
Do you remember that? He walked him down to and then stared at him. This was almost like the same thing. He walked to half court line while Pope was there. And it's of course he's going to say something. And I genuinely think Pope wanted one at that point. Yeah, you saw Collins' frustration, but man.
You can see the video. I still don't even it didn't stick out that Pope yelled the F word. I don't know exactly what.
What's the worst that Mark Pope could say? Genuinely, what is the worst that Coach Pope could say?
I don't know. We've seen him a couple times dropped. That's some bleeping bull bleep. So.
If that's the worst he can say, what do you think Tom Izzo's saying? What do you think Coach Cal's saying when he's getting frustrated? What do you think
Coach K said for 40 minutes for 20 years every single night? He would literally make a ref stand right next to him the entire time so he could scream at him.
It was, and I just want to talk about the Mo technical, because first off, hats off to Mo, because for him not going irate after getting called right there,
that was a great block. That was such
more self-restraint than I think I would have had personally. And I do want to talk about just Mo's performance in general. He altered this game in ways that isn't going to show up on the stat book. 3 blocks, changed a lot of shots for Acuff around the rim. I think that's why you saw Acuff shoot such a bad percentage. He was tremendous in this game. I really think so. Obviously, we still have the plays where you're like, does he know how to play basketball?
He still ran an ISO at the top of the key.
Yeah, you're like, does he know how to play basketball? But then you see, like anytime it comes to being physical and like just going and getting a ball, Jake, I'm telling you right now, when it comes to those guys that like when they try to dunk, they can't. But if you just have them go up and get a rebound or go up and try and get a block, they can go like a foot and a half above the rim. That's Mohamed Diabate for whatever reason. That's what he is. Like the athleticism just shows off when it's natural instinct. And for him to not just go irate after getting that technical, like he made that block and like he's looking like directly into the media section. Like we're right over here to the right if he's down there. And you can just tell, like he obviously looks in the camera, doesn't even really flex. Like there is no like big motion or anything.
He just says like, yeah.
and then he gets teed, and you're just like, you see Otega like immediately hands on the head, like what? And after that, it's just like, all right, that was what? I mean, what was that point swing? Was that a 7-point swing at that point?
They made the 4 free throws. They missed the 2 on the Garrison one, but then they made.
How about the air ball and the free throw?
They got 4, got the ball back. I mean, yeah, you went from what up, well, maybe 5 points or 6 points because I think we went from up 2 to down 4. But like that's like, and that's the thing. It's not just Kentucky games. Like I know a lot of Kentucky fans like to say like it's just us and like all this. There is a problem with college basketball officials across the board, and it's at times they just insert themselves into a game that doesn't need to be absurd. Like there's countless great games, and this was one of them. Like you got 2 teams that obviously don't like each other. Like there's, the Cal aspect, there's the DJ Wagner aspect, there's, all these different things, and they're going at it and they're playing a great game. Like it should have just been a 6:30 ESPN. Here's our primetime game before Tennessee and Auburn next. Then it's like instead you got everybody watching Doug Shows completely change the game. And then I think like Arkansas fans have some complaints because it did feel like after that they started calling everything on them almost like make up for it. And it's like you have just made this what was, I don't know, when did that happen? 15 minutes in, or with 15 minutes to go. So like you took an awesome 25 first minutes of this game
and you turned it into a ref show.
Turned it into a ref show, and then you spent the entire rest of the second half trying to correct your mistakes.
Yeah, and Jake, just to point it out, just to put like specifics on it, we got that technical foul. The first Brandon Garrison was 14:49 left in the second. Kentucky was up 51-46. After Mark Pope's technical and them getting the ball back, Billy Richmond makes that dunk. It's 52-51.
Yeah.
You're talking about going from being up 5 to down 1 in a matter of what? Let's see.
It was 38 30 seconds off
32 game time seconds is what it was. Yeah. 32 game time seconds. You're assessed 3 technicals, 6 points go to the opposition, and now all of a sudden you have Bud Walton Arena and everybody standing up, places going nuts, all because you decided to not only like make one mistake, like you said, the BG one, okay, deserved.
Yeah.
The Mohamed Diabate, worst calls we've ever seen, and then you doubled down on that, and then teed up Pope. And then you just made it a ref show the rest of the game.
After you made 2 bad calls. You missed a foul, and then you make a bad call on the 10-second call.
Yeah, right. Jake, let's put it this way. Let's say, you're just in your personal life, your everyday life. You make a mistake to Miss Kate. What? You're not going to double down on it and do it again. No, you don't want to. You don't want to be outside sleeping. You don't want to be sleeping outside. Miss Kate's not going to let you in if you double down on that mistake. So why is Doug Shows doing this?
Because there's no repercustions, and they get to.
That's true. Yeah.
Like what's the word? Like Doug Shows is still going to ref the Final Four, and like other than like that, like that's the thing. I do think for the most part, Doug Shows is a good referee, and I'm not like somebody that thinks he hates Kentucky. I just think
he just has to get his emotions out of the way.
Yeah, there comes these moments in big games, and he does it not just in Kentucky games. I mean, I saw he made like the quickest double technical in Memphis Tulane the very next day. And, so he just he likes the spotlight, and for some reason, like college basketball refs, like get to really kind of feed into that, and they get to be on TV, and Shouse gets to go to the monitor, and then the
Gets his
announcer
personal camera.
and he gets to explain why he made the call or what the call is. So yeah, and I guess they got to do it more with technicals now because you don't have the 900 replays now that you got coaches challenges. So they're not spending the last 6 minutes of the basketball game at the monitor. So, but I'm with you. I mean, it was pathetic, but I really can't believe Kentucky fought and found a way to win after that.
Yes.
Like, I thought for sure it was over. You mentioned it, like just how loud that place was. Like, to Kentucky's credit, not just then, like it felt like every time that place started to get loud, someone made a basket. Like there was
a lot of them were Colin too.
There was even a little later where I think Kentucky was up 4 and or maybe we were up 5 and Arkansas hit a 3 to cut it to 2, and the place is on their feet. Oweh, runs a really nice pick and roll with Malachi where he gets a dunk, and instantly, like it was 10 seconds after they were on their feet, they all sat right back down, and that was constant.
Yeah, it was. And I mean, they kept, to their credit, until like the end of the game. And Jake, I don't know if you saw the video that I took of all them packing up and leaving. That was a very welcome sight. But man, I mean, they went up by 4, 57-53. The place is rocking. We called timeout, and it's just like, man, felt like we did everything right, And it felt like at that time you're like,
we got it stolen from us.
Yeah, you feel like you got it stolen from you, and you're thinking like big picture in that moment because it was immediate timeout. So you're sitting there with a lot of time to think, and you're like, man, down 4 after being up. What were we up? I think it's most by like 15 early in the first half.
Yeah, I want to real quick. Like, I think that was actually the timeout Pope called. Like, I was gonna say, like that's one thing I think he did really well because I know we expressed that especially a ton last year where there were times he just let the other team go on a run that was way too long. There were 2 times I remember. There was one in the first half, Arkansas went on like a 5-0 run. He instantly calls a timeout. And then he called a timeout with 12:08. He didn't want to wait for the media timeout. I think he realized that's why it felt so long because they came back and played 8 seconds and there was an instant foul and they went right back to another timeout.
Yeah,
but like
called it at 12:18 and then there was a foul at 11:59.
Yeah. Yep. So, but like that is something that I think Pope deserves a lot of credit for because that was something we were obviously very critical in the past, but he didn't let that building explode. I mean, if you continue to play that out and they get another steal and dunk or, long rebound and something run out, that place is on a whole nother level. So I think he made good decisions and when to call timeouts throughout this game.
Yeah, and then what immediately happened after that was Colin hits a massive 3. Yep. And I'm just, is this confidence back, Jake? Is that where we're at? Like, it feels like this man's confidence is back, and it feels like this is what we got from the very early part of the season and the end of the season last year. And man, when you look at like this group of guards that you have now, you can see some scoring. You're seeing some defensive prowess. You're seeing the ability to get on the run, hit some threes, and you don't have to squint too hard to see like how this can work now.
Yeah, and back to Colin's confidence, man. I mean, we talked about it after Ole Miss, like for him to, have the guts to take that shot there to put the game away. But even that dagger Saturday, I mean, 7 seconds on the shot clock, he catches the ball in backcourt. He didn't look to pass. He put his head down, got right to the free throw line, and then shot that turnaround jumper. Like in his mind, that ball was not going anywhere else. So yeah, I'd say he's got that confidence back.
Yeah, and he answered about that, like who the play was drawn up for. He's like, "Oh, it was drawn up for Otega."
He didn't look Otega's way.
He did not look at Otega once on his dribble down there, and it was awesome. I mean, the turnaround right over Malik Thomas, and don't get me wrong, like the Cats were obviously helped a lot in this game by their Arkansas's like missed free throws. It felt like a ton of times they were missing the front end of a 1-and-1 or going 1 of 2 at the line. Obviously, kept the Cats in it. I mean, this team's resiliency, man. Like, you're talking about you just lost 25 to Vanderbilt on the road. Everybody's writing you off for dead. You're going in there to face your old coach. You're facing a top 15 team who's got, a potential top 10 pick, and Darius Acuff might win SEC Player of the Year. All these things, everything, nothing's going your way. Season's done. Everybody's, pointing the fingers, this, and that. You get up big, and then you're looking in the second half, and you're like, how in the hell are we down 4 points?
Yep.
And to rally from that and then just take the life right out of Bud Walton Arena with some big plays from some guys that you didn't necessarily think were going to be the guys making these plays down the stretch. Like, Jake, what if I would have told you in the beginning of the season, hey, Trent Noah is going to make some clutch free throws, Malachi Moreno is going to make some clutch shots, like Colin Chandler? I mean, that probably would have been the one where we would have been like, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
If you told me Trent was versus Tennessee, I might have believed you.
And it's crazy, man. It really is. It just seems like each time we write this team off and we write this staff off, they come back and win a huge game like this. And you have a bad team that you're playing on Wednesday.
Yep.
Obviously, you want to ride that momentum. I mean, right now you're looking at what? We're 6-7 in the conference, or 6 of our last 7?
Yep.
6 of the last 7. You beat Oklahoma. You go 7-8. And then you're talking about in the denims at home. I mean, you can't let Tennessee beat you in the denims at home.
Nah, we got that one.
It just can't happen.
And Rick Barnes. Yeah, I mean, Oklahoma, they're 1-8 here in the conference.
They're bad.
With their one win being their first one against Ole Miss. Yeah. And I mean, I'm looking at it like they haven't beat anybody. They beat Marquette by 1, lost to Nebraska. They only lost to Gonzaga by 15. So, like, if you are comparing apples to apples, but no, I mean, this tomorrow night needs to be it's going to be one that I know I've said it a lot. I'm going to say it for this one too. Like, I don't care. You can win this game super ugly. Just get out of here healthy, knock on wood, and just take care of business. And I don't even know if Kentucky has to necessarily play well. I still think they can win by 5 to 10. But like, if you come out and play how you played Saturday, and I know it's obviously going to be a much different environment, 9 p.m. on a Wednesday night after a day of snow. And the roads in Lexington apparently are still just atrocious.
Supposedly,
I saw one of my old Dixie teachers move to Lexington. He posted a video today, 6 inches of just ice on all these roads. So,
well, Jake, I got to be there on Thursday, so I'm hoping they at least got the roads by HMC all paved up for me.
Yeah. But anyway, it's obviously going to be a much different environment. But just come out, play well, take care of business. You should have no problem. I don't know. Have they made a line? Have they released the line yet for this game?
Jake, can I say, before we get too far into the weeds of this Oklahoma games, I do want to touch on it a little bit later. First off, I want to thank everybody who listens to us, because that is the only reason I was able to go down there. It's because people like you are subscribing. So if you could please, Jake, we're getting very close to 500 subscribers on YouTube. If you could please hit subscribe, because it seems like a good amount of you, once you hear Jake for like 30 minutes, you kind of just shut us off.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to us before,
they hear me pick us to beat Arkansas, the only one on here, the only one in like all of Kentucky media, I might argue.
That's accurate. That is accurate, Jake.
Cam, I'm gonna tell you something here. I don't think I've ever subscribed to our YouTube, so allow me to do that now.
See, this is why I remind you, Jake. This is why I send out those reminders, and I tell you guys, like, hey, you got to get subscribed to the YouTube channel, because that's where we're doing a lot of our work. Obviously, we had some great content over there over the weekend from the trip down to Arkansas. So if you guys like what you're seeing, Jake and I were putting a lot of effort into getting you guys good content there. And of course, our long form podcasts like we're doing here are going to be there each and every game. I still want to relish in this Arkansas game a little bit more before we move on. I really do. This is a game that, like, if you would have told me like how they were going to come in there and win, I didn't think they were going to out-rebound them by 9.
No.
I didn't think they were only going to shoot 13 threes.
You would think
if you would have told me, that's what I'm saying. If you would have told me, like, just the auxiliary stats looking in, shoot 13 threes, 11 assists to 7 turnovers, and you shoot 63% from the foul line. and only 10 points from Denzel Aberdeen, probably thinking you lost this game. Now, you could probably think that it was close, all these things. But if I just told you that, you're probably thinking you're losing the game.
Yeah, I mean, the only other way with those stat lines you think you win is if Cal played DJ 35-plus minutes and told him to go take over the game, which was not out of the realm of possibilities.
Hey, I will say, to DJ's credit, I'm not going to give him much at all. But when that man's driving to his left, I swear to God, it's always a finish. He's always making that. Whatever it is, around the rim, going from right to left.
The only time he uses his right hand is when he's punching Colin Chandler in the face.
That was ridiculous, too. I don't even know how. Did you see, like, Colin gets knocked on the floor, he makes it, he's just, like, sitting there, he's just, like, looking at him, he's just, like...
I think they didn't call it because he made it. I don't know. But, like, that was such an absurd... Not even to look at it. They always look at that.
It was. I don't understand a lot of things that happened in this game, but all I know is, Jake, it was a great time down in Fayetteville. Not because of the city, not because of Bud Walton Arena, but because the Cats went in there, stole a win from the Tyson Chicken Man, and they left. And the season's back home. Like, if you just look, Jake.
Make Final Four plans.
I'm not going to go that far. I do love the optimism and enthusiasm. But you are starting to see, like, you know, when we were talking early in the season, and you're like, man, I just don't even see, like, if this team does make it, you know, they get like a 10 or an 11 seed, and they do make it, if they win a game, cool. I mean, I don't think it's too much to squint now to be like, I could see this team being a Sweet 16 team.
No.
I don't think that's a tough squint. Now, when you're talking about, like, going on a run further than that, I got to see a lot more, and a lot of that, honestly, I think comes from what you do this week.
Yeah, I mean,
where you and I differ, I think, a lot for this week specifically, is I want to see this team. It seems like they really, even though they had that 5-game winning streak, right? It seems like they didn't really build on any of those wins. All of them were close, you know, scratching down to the final wire. Like even Ole Miss, a team you probably should have beat by more than that. I'd like to see them just come in from like start to finish and kind of just handle Oklahoma. They're at the bottom of the SEC right now. You're close to the top part of the SEC. Handle them like you should. It's a team that's coming on the road to play you guys at 9 p.m. You're gonna, you know, Rup's gonna be packed after the win that you just had. I want this to be almost like basically how you had this Arkansas game from start to finish. Maybe, you know, there's spots where it gets tight, but then, you know, balloon the lead later, win by like 8 to 13 points. That's what I want to see against Oklahoma. And then when it comes to Tennessee, obviously, we always want to see them beat Tennessee, but I want to see like improvement this week. Step.
I know I said, like, I'll take an ugly win, and I will, but I would like to see them continue to build on the offense. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that was by far the best this offense has looked really all year.
Absolutely. 85 points and only hitting 6 threes.
Yeah. Good ball movement, like we talked about. Guys were cutting, you know, they were running. It looked a lot like the Pope offense that we expected last year, and, you know, I don't know what kind of switch had to be flipped for them to kind of get there, but you know.
Well, I think it was because you called for Mark Fox's job. You called for his job, Jake.
Did you hear what Pope said after the game?
Yes, I did. I can't remember who he said it was, but
he said Alvin Brooks did the game plan. So I'm not going to say again, certified ball knower.
Yeah, Jake's going to say, "You're welcome, Big Blue Nation, for getting out in front of that for you."
Watch, we're going to come out and you know, get off to a 15-2 deficit against Oklahoma, and we're going to find out Mark Fox did the game plan, and we're all going to be, you know, at some point, man, people will learn to listen to me.
Well, I mean, Miss Kate doesn't listen to you now, and if she hasn't learned yet, I don't know when anybody is going to learn. You know?
Yeah, I'm used to just speaking to the voids.
Well, that's why we have our platform here, Jake, so that some people actually listen to us.
We'll see. I mean, the knowledge of ball knowers has increased with the recent departure on this podcast. So
I'm not going to talk to that one. I'll let you hear that one out. I mean, we also added in, Jake. I don't know if you got a chance to see it. My dad was down there at the game with us. I don't know if you got a chance to see our instant reaction video. That was cool, and you know, just a really cool moment for me. Obviously, one of the biggest reasons why I am a Kentucky basketball fan, being able to enjoy a moment like that with me. And it was kind of awesome to be able to talk instant reactions after a basketball game with someone who knows about basketball. That was really cool. for me. So that was really fun. And man, Jake, I'm looking forward to, when we start, hopefully, all of the Cats Talk podcast faithful and, some of the fans that we've started to gather on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, wherever, they start subscribing. Hopefully, Jake, I get you on here full time, man. And you're down there on some of these trips with me, and we're down there and we're talking about this, boxing it out left and right. You and I are disagreeing. We might have to put on the boxing gloves, throw a couple of spars down there.
One day, JMI's got to get on board.
We got to get JMI involved with this. Yeah. I'm good. If they're running our financials, we're cooked.
They got to get us. They got to let us go to these games.
Yeah, that's a whole other story. We'll get there. We're working on it. But yeah. Jake, let's go ahead and let's dive into this Oklahoma game. We've obviously mentioned it a little bit. Team's just not good. You mentioned they're 1-7 in SEC play, or is that 1-8 now?
I think it's 1-8.
1-8. You mentioned
they're 11-11 on the year.
Their only win was against Ole Miss, who obviously we've seen that Ole Miss isn't a very good team, even though you struggled with them at home. So hopefully this isn't something that they come in and play over their head and somehow escape with a win. They just got Oklahoma. 10-plus point victory at home, I think, is what it has to be. And then really it's just – we've mentioned it kind of. It's just take care of home court. Take care of home court and steal a couple road games.
You're right there, man. I mean, this season you were talking – you could see this team make a Sweet 16. I'm with you. I still could see us working our way up to a 7 seed and losing in the first round. But, that's not going to be how I think. But – Kentucky is a 9.5 point favorite. I don't know. I think they come out and play well and probably even cover that 9.5.
Yep. And I mean, right now they are 4th in the SEC, and you're talking about if the SEC tournament was to start tomorrow, that'd be a double bye, Jake.
Yeah. Which
feels like it's been a while since we've had that, and it feels like it's been even longer since we've capitalized on having one of those.
I mean,
you're right. You're right where you want to be, Jake. Think about if I would have had this conversation with you about this team, I would have told you, hey, Jaden Quaintance is probably done for the season. Jalen Lowe is officially done for the season. Cam Williams is done for the season after the Gonzaga game and after what you had just watched. And I give you all that bad news, and I look at you and tell you, oh, yeah, but they did just beat Arkansas at the road, and they are now 15-7 and have won 6 of their last 7 in conference play. What would you have told me? You would have been like, no, dude, I don't know what you're smoking, but you need to stop.
I would have honked that nose.
It wouldn't have been the first time. Probably won't be the last either.
But I mean, I think you said the word, right? They're resilient, and I think that obviously is going to come on a game by game basis. And there's still probably going to be another game where we come out and lay a complete egg, and we're down 20 for the entirety of it. But they're going to find ways to, fight and win games when their backs are against the wall and you don't expect it.
Yeah, and that's really all we can hope for, especially now with seeing what the rest of the schedule we have left. I mean, obviously, you've got probably of your next 4 games, you've got 2 real tough games to win. Obviously, Tennessee, you've already beat them once. They're ranked 25th now. At Florida, Jake, I'm not sure how you feel about that one. Watching the way Florida's been playing lately, man.
Florida.
Again, I'll tell you one thing. One thing I'm not going to do, Jake, I'm not predicting any more double-digit losses for us. I did that once, and you're welcome, Big Blue Nation. We got the win. So, how you took a victory last week.
I might pick one for Florida. I watched them again Saturday. They are, man, they're back to looking like how they looked last year. I know they struggled a little bit in non-conference, but their Boogie Flan's hitting his stride. That transfer from Princeton playing well, and then their big men are Condon's a dog.
Yeah, so I mean, let's just assume that one's a loss. You can still go 3-1 over this next 4. Hey, you got Georgia at home.
Hey,
you got
who was the guy that told you they were going to go 4-1 over this stretch of 5?
And guess what?
We're 2-1.
I said 3-2 was the floor.
You win both of these this week. That was my prediction. And then I said, I think I said then after that you might lose. You might go 2-4 over your next 6, but
I don't know, man. I mean, obviously you got the schedule actually kind of, I don't want to say it opens up for you because that's not the right word. The last 3 games of the season, you play Vanderbilt, A&M, and Florida.
Yeah.
So obviously that's a tough that's a tough 3. But that 3 that you have right before then, Georgia, Auburn, and South Carolina, you're talking about
stack some wins.
outside of Georgia, you're talking about those 2 teams are at the bottom of the SEC.
Yeah.
You have
At
it
Auburn's
really is.
still going to be tough.
It is. And Tahad Pettiford, I'm a huge fan of him. That's not one. I don't want to say I'm not concerned because we've seen this team's ability to just like lay complete duds you weren't even expecting. So obviously, I'm not going to say I'm not concerned. But Jake, like I'm starting to look at this man, and it's starting to open up a little bit for us. Again, you can talk about the way this team plays and call it a roller coaster. You can also say the way you and I come in here with energy is a complete roller coaster based off of what they do. Right now, I'm not going to say I'm the highest I've been on this team. I'm getting pretty close, especially considering after Vanderbilt, I almost like saw the Purple People Bridge and just kept on walking.
How about the fact this is? It's just hitting me that this is here. We don't have a game next week during the week.
Nope.
It's kind of a weird.
Coming at a good time. Coming at a good time, man. They need that week off. I'll say they've been really starting to. I mean, Braden Hawthorne sprained his ankle yesterday in practice. I mean,
I guess we can take everything off the table about possibly getting rid of that red shirt. I think it's here to stay.
Yeah, it seems like any injury that can bubble up is still happening. Obviously, knock on wood that some other ones aren't going to happen, but they need that bye week, and then especially, I mean, a full week to prepare for Florida. Jake, I think even a guy like Mark Fox might be able to put together something for you.
Man, this has been some Mark Fox slander.
It has, and you're the one who started the Mark Fox slander, Jake. I'm just here, I'm just a guy holding the flame. I'm holding the candle for you. Just try, I'm like one of those guys. I didn't necessarily know the guy, but I'm at the vigil just supporting anyways.
No, I just made an observation. That's all.
Well, Jake, make me one more observation. You were right on both of the games last week, and I went 0 for 2. So you're riding the hot hand here, and I'm going to pass it to you against Oklahoma. What do these Cats come out and do? Obviously, I think you're probably going to bank for Otega to have 25 of our last 27 points. What are the Cats going to do against Oklahoma?
I already told you. I think I like them to cover the 9.5. I think they continue to build offensively. I mean, Oklahoma's lost a lot of close games, so it's like how much are they kind of still into it? And then they kind of went and got ran against Texas. I like the Cats to get back in the 80s. Oklahoma's given up a lot of points too. I think some pretty bad teams. So I like Kentucky to get back into the 80s. I'll go Kentucky 85-71.
Oof, very close, very close. I'm gonna keep mine right there.
We on the same page?
We are on the same page. I was going the Cats scoring a little bit more, and Oklahoma scoring a little bit more. I think Oklahoma's average is right about like 81 for the season. It's dipped a little bit since SEC play. But you mentioned you want the Cats to build on the offensive success that you saw them have. And then you have them score less points than they scored on Saturday. What is that about?
85. We're at the same.
What, didn't you just say 83?
No, 85-71.
Oh, well, then I'm not that far off you. I got 86-74. I got the Cats winning by 12, covering. Yeah, I sounded like somebody else there for a minute. Yeah. That's on me. The hand is up. But, Jake,
RIP.
Obviously, this is a huge week for the Wildcats. Let's continue to build momentum, and then you got almost a full week off to prepare for Florida. The season is back on, man. I'm excited. Okay. I see that smile on your face. Like, look at that. It's coming.
I never went away. I told you we were going to lose to Vandy. Now, did I expect us to be down
25 loss
game? No, but I told you we were going to lose, and for a little behind the scenes action for the people, I didn't remember a second of this Arkansas game. I'm going to be honest. I went back and rewatched the entire thing, but I know one thing: I was on cloud 9 Saturday night at 8:45 or whenever the heck it got over, and I was screaming and hollering at the bowling alley, and you can feel it, man. There's the people, we want it so bad. So Let's
Jake,
build off of it.
Talking about two people right now who are just addicted to the grind, and that's Cameron Johnson and Jacob Boyers. Jake, I was sitting there, and while I couldn't openly celebrate in the media press box, you better
under the table.
You better believe there was some nice little hand gestures here, looking around, flexing on some people.
You and Dad giving high fives under the table where nobody could see.
Oh, absolutely. There were some times I had to rile him down. He's not used to the media row, not being able to show any.
You don't ever need to go back to Fayetteville. So, you should have had him get up and start screaming, take his shirt off.
Yep. So I was like, hey. Yeah, we got a nice lead here. This is a long game. Let's settle down. The media row. We gotta settle down a little bit. But no, man, it was terrific. And obviously, Jake, you and I are here to cover every single Kentucky game, win, lose, big wins, big losses. We're here. The mood of the show might change a little bit depending on what spot of the roller coaster that we're on. But we're here.
The people know. It's a roller coaster.
They do know. And Big Blue Nation, I can't thank you guys enough. Obviously, your support over these past year and a half has been tremendous. As a independent media outlet who's not sponsored and or affiliated with anyone, Jake and I are truly just making something out of nothing here. So all your guys' support truly means the world for us. So make sure to subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, wherever you get your news, we're there, and get all of our podcasts on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio. We're anywhere and everywhere. And obviously, Jake, we need these Cats to go out and handle business against Oklahoma on Wednesday. We both think they will. Jake, go Big Blue.
Go Big Blue.